right.
What big questions does everybody have?
Sorry, how do you feel everyone picking you all to win the thing?
Calhoun must be drinking the Hawaiian hoochie or something. I don't know. But, you know, I mean, we got I think one of the more experienced teams here. Us and probably Washington and Wichita State are probably the most experienced teams. But you got to play, you know. Very seldom seems like they're the favorites win out here, so we got to work it out.
Coach, Coach, how can you contrast being on Maui this year compared to, I believe, 05, last time you guys got?
05, I think, might have been the best group. Not that this isn't, but that was an incredible number of teams that were ranked that year, and our game against Gonzaga may still go down as one of the greatest Maui games ever. And so it was fun to be a part of that, and we turned around and played another overtime game against Arizona. So, you know, we had a good team then and didn't win it, but we won 2 games. And sometimes in Maui, that's pretty good with the field there is.
Tom, what did you do differently this week after South Carolina? How were the practices? How did things go?
Well, you know, we didn't get to do a lot because we had to take the next day off, then we had to practice, and Kalen couldn't practice because of his ankle, and then we came out here, and we had a very good practice yesterday, so I'm hoping we have a good one today. But, you know, we got some work to do on, you know, we did such a poor job against the press, and yet I'm not really concerned about that. I think with our guards, we should be very good against it. I think we're just a little sloppy, and we're shooting the ball pretty good. So I think it's just a matter of doing a better job on our rebounding too. Was the other area, though, the turnovers and the rebounding, which shouldn't be issues for us. So we just watched a little film and tried to iron that out.
And how did the 7 a.m. free throw shooting go?
You know, if I was to be honest about it, I told them that they should be shooting the next day. They arranged for the 7 a.m. It was not coach arranged. So that's a positive sign too. I think that the players realized that we did a poor job, and as Judd Heathcote says, sometimes you know you do a poor job because the guys shooting them aren't good free throw shooters. So we had a little bit of that, but for Durrell to miss a couple and some of our other guys, that's unexcusable.
So that was the morning after South Carolina. They arranged this.
They arranged it. You know, they arranged it that night, and I think that was good. You know, I didn't even know about it till I came in. Which is real good.
How was Kalen doing?
Kalen was great. I mean, he was fine the day after the game, or that night, and then the next day he was pretty good. And then that night it got sore, and so he didn't practice the next day. But since then there's been no issues, and it was his ankle. It wasn't anything to do with the Achilles.
Coach, what can you say about your tournament or your games leading up to this tournament this time compared to, I guess, last time you had a stopover against Hawaii?
Well, I mean, that stopover wasn't a good stopover, but I think it was more bad planning on the coach's part. Probably should have got over there a day earlier, and you know how we handled it. We've drank a lot more water this time, ate a lot more bananas.
Coach,
so,
I have a different kind of question.
Okay.
Given yesterday's football game, would you be interested in playing Illinois in Wrigley Field on the basketball court?
On a basketball court? No, I played just about everywhere, but Wrigley Field and basketball wouldn't be one of my
favorites. It might be a little sort of cold, right?
A little cold, yeah, a little cold, although probably wouldn't affect our free throw shooting the way we shot last game. It might even help it some. But I think in general, we just tried to, you know, be a little smarter in how we've done things. It was just one of those things. I don't think it was anything that maybe if I did the same thing 5 times, it wouldn't happen.
Do you think, did you bring up at all you all's history in these preseason tournaments? Just that you've been favored a lot, and right, I mean,
we have not won, I think since, I don't know, 2001 or 99 or whatever, and some of that is because we're playing in good tournaments, and some of that is we haven't maybe fared as well, and yet it maybe in some ways it's taught us lessons that have helped us later on. So, you know, I think the players feel like it's time to get back on the championship road here and learn how to win a championship, and maybe if you learn in the preseason, you'll do a better job at the end of the season.
I guess you've been matched up against Chaminade. Was your debut at Michigan State against Chaminade?
Yeah.
What kind
we blew them out that game by I think 2 or 3. So you know, hopefully we're a different team, but I think they're a different team. They got a team that, you know, the one fear that they have a very good point guard, but they can shoot threes, and they got 4 guys that can shoot them, and when you got 4 guys that can shoot them, I mean, that's how upsets happen. So we're going to have to defend a little better. And but Matt does a great job with that program and that team, and I think he's got one of his better teams.
How difficult is it going to be with as few guys as you have here to practice?
That's the hardest part, you know. I've got a couple assistants that are practicing, and they're awful, to be honest with you.
Past their prime?
Not bad. DJ's not in condition right now. But no, you know, it has been a little harder. That's a great point. I was talking to John Calipari, and he says he's having the same problem. When you don't have as competitive a practices, I think that's what makes you. And we're a good enough team where we could really have, we have enough depth to really have good practices. But over here, you can't go 5-on-5 and, you know, wear yourself down. It's nice to get a little break. So you have a scout team, which we don't have right now. So that is an issue that is a new issue that we haven't had to deal with very often. I'm learning how to deal with it.
How many guys were you able to bring, Coach?
We brought 11. But we, you know, one of them won't play in the game, so you do different things with him. At least not right now.
Is the what's the situation with Derek?
You know, it's kind of the ball's kind of more in his court. I mean, from the standpoint of he's just got to figure out where he's at and what he's doing. And
typical 19-year-old.
Typical 19-year-old to a certain extent, but kind of shocking because he had been doing so well. But I think. You know, when you lose a lot of weight over a couple of years and you change a lot of things, you got to make adjustments yourself in a lot of different areas. And right now, I think all those things and just losing weight doesn't give you instant success, as we know. So you know, he's you know, I'm hoping. I texted him yesterday. I'm hoping he's really giving some thought of what he wants to be is maybe the most important, because if you don't want to be at a championship level, you don't want to sacrifice for that, this is a bad place to be. If you do want to, I think it's one of the best places to be in. And I think he'll, you know, he's looked at it a little differently already, and see how he does as he deals with it himself.
And you mentioned the 11 to 12 players, obviously no Nicks, Bird, can't. He's here though, he just can't. And who else? I mean, I'm not a loop.
Yeah, well, Ghana is a guy that we've kind of programmed to redshirt.
Okay.
But that could change too. But I mean,
could that then change?
I don't think it will here, because I wouldn't make a decision on that and cost him his future. Not cost him, but I mean, unless, you know, things happen that you have to do it. I mean, you never know about injuries and everything else. So right now that's still on hold, but it can be for. We said when we did it, I talked to the media that I'd really take a solid look at it when we get back from Maui at 5 games in and have a little better clue where we're at.
Okay.
Conversely, how much have you seen Appling and Payne develop since?
Well, I think a lot. You know, Appling's been amazing because he's so good defensively, at least so far. And you know, I think his high school coach deserves the credit for that. I mean, the kid came in very well prepared defensively. Not many kids are, and he has one other attribute that I think most freshmen have to gain, and that's he's tougher than nails. You know, when Payne, in fairness to him, still have phenomenal ability, but the 4.5 months he missed in the summer, you know, just taking some time, and especially with strength in that, and learning how to go harder and harder. So, you know, he didn't play in as competitive a league as Keith did, and so that's going to take a little bit of time, but I'm really impressed by how he's handled it, and I feel good about where we're at with those 2 guys. As always, you want to speed the process,
I'm good.
Yeah, I let them. I think they were going to do a little snorkeling this morning, so you know, we got to do it. You can do it over here. It is part about growing as a basketball player and as a person. So you know, they did a little mini cliff diving yesterday. I didn't get to see that because I was in meetings myself, but today it was supposed to be snorkeling and, I don't know, try to catch a shark or something, whatever you do out there.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.